9 experienced hikers went into the frozen mountains, but what was found later was more terrifying than death itself. It was January 1959. Deep in the freezing wilderness of the Ural Mountains, a group of 9 experienced hikers set out on an expedition that would later become one of the most terrifying mysteries in human history. They were young, strong, and highly skilled. This was not their first journey. They knew the mountains, they knew the cold, and they were prepared for anything. Or at least, they thought they were. Their leader was Igor Dyatlov, a confident and intelligent student who had planned this expedition carefully. The goal was simple: reach Otorten Mountain, and return. But they never made it back. At first, everything seemed normal. The group skied through deep snow, laughing, documenting their journey with photos, writing in their diaries. They were in good spirits. Nothing felt wrong. Until something changed. On the night of February 1, 1959, the group set up camp on a snowy slope. The wind was strong. The temperature was deadly, but they had faced worse before. They built their tent, settled inside, and prepared to rest. That was the last normal moment of their lives. Sometime during the night, something happened. Something so terrifying that all 9 hikers suddenly panicked. Evidence later revealed something impossible. The tent had been cut open from the inside, not torn by wind, not destroyed by animals, cut, as if they were desperate to escape, immediately. But it gets worse. They didn't even take their shoes. Or their jackets. They ran out into the freezing darkness, barefoot. Into temperatures below -30 degrees Celsius. No one does that, unless they are running from something far more dangerous than the cold itself. Search teams later followed their footprints. What they found only deepened the mystery. The footprints showed that the hikers were not running wildly. They walked calmly, as if whatever scared them was still nearby. Their trail led into the forest. And there, under a large cedar tree, the first bodies were found. 2 hikers, barely clothed. Their hands were burned, as if they had tried to climb the tree, or light a fire in desperation. They had died from hypothermia. But that was just the beginning. Over the next few weeks, the remaining bodies were discovered, each one revealing something more disturbing. One had a cracked skull. Another had broken ribs so severe, it was compared to the force of a car crash. One of the hikers had no tongue, no eyes, no soft tissue, but there were no signs of struggle. No external wounds, no blood, as if the injuries came from something not human. And then came the most chilling detail of all. Some of their clothes showed traces of radiation. Radiation, in the middle of a remote mountain, in 1959. The Soviet government quickly sealed the case. Their official explanation, a compelling natural force, but they never explained what that force was. And to this day, no one truly knows. Was it an avalanche? Unlikely. The tent wasn't buried. Was it military testing? Possible, but never confirmed. Or was it something else? Something unknown. Something watching them, in the darkness of that frozen mountain. Because whatever happened that night made 9 experienced hikers do the unthinkable. It made them choose certain death in the cold, over staying inside their tent. And that means only one thing. What they were running from was worse than freezing to death. Even today, decades later, the Dyatlov Pass remains one of the most disturbing unsolved mysteries ever recorded. The mountain still stands, silent, cold, and empty. But some believe it's not as empty as it seems, because on certain nights, strange lights have been seen in the sky above the pass. And if you listen closely, you might just hear the wind whispering a question that has never been answered. What really happened that night?